this is a debate about Psycho and Peeping Tom.
Good job.
And that concludes their presentation. So what's the first point you want to talk about? Like,
No, it's okay. We just
Up to you.
point and then they lose automatically.
oh.
Oh wait, now the debate.
Okay, basically Psycho is a very nice film. Okay. But the thing that makes it special is because of its innovative plot structure and how it defined the narrative structure as a whole. And it's something unlike a genre film, which is what Peeping Tom is.
The thing about Peeping Tom is it doesn't take 1 hour to show the main character.
Yeah, that's the beauty of our film. We don't, that's the whole point. And given as a suspense film, and your suspense film revolves around one character for what, 5 hours, compared to our film which has goes suspense with one character for 40 minutes and then totally throws a tangent off with a new character introduction and then totally smashes all your beliefs for the first 2 hours at the end with the introduction of a new character. So actually, the main character all along.
Noise! You
Basically, Psycho could have started out straight from her checking into the motel, right? I mean, did we really have to know that she was going out with some guy and all? Psycho could have started 40 minutes later.
No!
When she checked into the hotel.
Needed for the narrative structure.
That's the whole purpose of the first 40 minutes.
Fight.
That is better. Take off your shirt!
It's redundant.
That's better, get ready.
Film may not be the best thing you've
That's
done.
it. Oh, Stanley! Oh!
Stanley, go!
Go Eugene, go Eugene.
The ultimate point. What's the director's name?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Who has influenced Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola?
Who has influenced Nolan? Who has influenced Nolan? Nolan all day.
Let's get back on track. And also,
No, but seriously, you haven't brought up any points that's special about your film.
our film focuses on the murderer itself, so we see his point of view and we sympathize with him, which end up questions our own morals at the end of the film.
How's
So
that
you
different? How's that different from murderer?
What kind of disgusting word do you live in?
How's that different from any genre film? There are so many other films, other thriller films, which focus on one person and we empathize with the character's point of view throughout the whole duration of the film. But how does that make it a special film as compared to Psycho, which is also a thriller film, but then for the first act it's got nothing to do with the main character, and then suddenly it goes off tangent because you're sympathizing with one character throughout the first hour, and then you realize it's a lie.
Have you seen thing about it being a genre film?
No,
It's a genre film.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what it means, like, it's every other film, it's basically just a normal thriller film that follows its conventions and all that. You sympathize like any other thriller film. Well, how does that make it a different film? That stands out from the rest.
What he
It's
said.
not a color.
Oh, okay, very good point, very good point. Psycho's time had color, but then our dear author, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, decided to not shoot in color because black and white brings out the suspense element even
Oh, he
better
forgot
than
the white
color.
balance.
Wait, he falls to white balance.
Please don't.
So are you a white supremacist? Racist? Horrible.
Yeah, show something back.
You pull me up here.
Peeping Tom shoots through the lens, what? So it's a new perspective.
So the whole French impressionism shoots through curved mirrors. That's the
what?
point.
Frenches are curvy.
What kind of weird camera doesn't shoot through a lens?
As
Shoot
in,
through cardboard.
they use the...
Shoot through concrete.
3D, kill got person.
No, as in,
Which film doesn't shoot through the lens?
as in it shows that, what he is seeing.
He's already covered the point of view, and I talked about how that is.
But that is
But
also
the thing is about not how it's a different film. about how it's a good film on its own.
We're talking about how it's a better film from the other film.
No, how
This is how it's different from
So how
other
is
films.
just because it's different is better.
Yeah.
You're from India, you're from Singapore. Am I better than you? No.
No, but precisely, you're not better.
Yeah, so that's my point. I'm the different one here. I'm out of place here. Psycho was out of place in a like a pool of normal films. Psycho was a
Film
different
school, they
one.
talk about the film they
Okay, let's just admit both films were different and they were good in their own way.
Yeah,
But
we leave that
simply,
to the end.
Psycho is just a better film. Let's face it.
Wait, got cameo or not? Got cameo or not?
Yeah,
I think got cameo.
Hey, but you can find her.
But you know there's no factor that makes a film stand out from the other films in its genre, right?
Gothic horror.
And
Gothic horror?
Psycho is not gothic horror.
No, from the suspense genre, you do agree that your film does not stand out in a significant manner from other films of its genre, right?
Yeah.
Who won? Who's next? You decide.
Any argument that Peeping Tom is a better film? Or?
Well, the rest of the class can pitch in also.
You don't have an argument because it's not a good film.
No, it's a good film, it's just not a standout film.
The what you call that? Actually, right, the character, the main character of the Peeping Tom, right, his reason for doing it is more. You understand much better than the normal bits. As in his general, like the reason where they build it in, right, is much more accepting.
Wait, what is accepting?
Like how to say you kind of understand why he does what he's doing. Whereas normal bits is more like, wow, he's retarded.
No? What? Wait, what?
That's
I mean, okay, in what way, right, do you actually understand why the character of Peeping Tom actually does what he does? At least with Norman Bates, right, you understand that he's psycho cause of how he was brought up. You don't understand why the character of Peeping Tom does the stuff he does.
And why is it necessary that you have to establish the character's backstory from the start? Compared to in a suspense film, you keep it right at the end, and with that one shot when he turns around and you see that he has been the mother all along, it explains the whole backstory of that one character in that one shot.
Even in addition to that, right, you don't even understand the backstory of Peeping Tom at all.
No, you do. You're supposed to.
But then
You don't even
gradually
understand his
like,
motivation. The motivation isn't clear from the start anyway.
yeah, it's not clear from the start.
It's not even clear at the end.
Right from the start of the movie, what? Because you talked about how you bring to the POV of someone who's only been going around with a camera, but we only know his motivation of how the father has attached the camera to him to condition him as a scientific experiment. But we don't find out that he's going around killing people until the very end.
What? You all didn't know?
And you don't even understand why,
he's killing people.
Because he's been so tuned to having fear around him all the time that he needs to see the fear in other people as well. Because
You only get that at the end.
his father shoots fear, his face of fear all along his childhood and shows it to him like every single day. Shoots it, shows it to him, shoots it, shows it to him. So he's so conditioned to that fear that he needs to see it from other
Did
people.
you get that in the first murder?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait,
No, not in the first murder.
No,
Not in the first murder.
Anyhow, yes,
No. Do you get that? No. Okay. Why I want to interject is because right, the thing is that you say that this one is gradually right. The fact is that it's because doesn't mean when it's gradual. It means there is not a suspense. You're saying that how yours is a suspense. Wait, no. You're saying how yours is a suspense because it's like you only bring it at the end. Or you're bringing it close to the end where you're keeping it to the audience. This is the opposite where when you give it to the audience but not to the characters, you have the other different kind of suspense.
Yeah, but my point is that is like any other genre film, whereby you go through the process, you empathize with the character, and then at the end you realize why.
Yes, but even if it's in any other genre film, it's really well done.
Yeah, it's well done.
Yes,
but
but
then, like Psycho is also a genre film in the same genre, but it stands out because of its narrative structure.
But the question is not whether it stands out or not, it's why is it better?
My point that it's
it
better is
stands
because
out.
it stands
Psycho
out.
just did it better.
Broke boundaries that your film didn't bother doing.
No, we can concede that your film did it your way and our film did it our way, but we are just saying that our film did it better in our own way.
Then
It
if you
just
were to put
worked
these
better.
two films in the same genre, which one did it better?
We will say it's ours, you will say yours lah. So the question is why? But
We've given
But I
our
think-
point of why.
I think it's because, like, you know, for horror films, right?
toilet break.
But your point of why is just asking why ours is.
No,
I
you're saying yours is just better because it's different.
I explained different how, different why, different what.
I think, okay, sorry, I just put in, sorry, it's stupid or whatever, but I think, like, because y'all are saying, like, horror films, that's why for your film, it builds up the suspense all the way until the end, then it reveals the the truth, right?
And the plot
but for
point-
ours, they slowly reveal from the start. So all the way you know that he's the murderer, but you still get that impact even after they reveal it from the start.
Which film had a greater impact on you when the revelation happened? Peeping Tom.
Oh,
No, wait. I'm speaking to her, let her answer. When the reveal happened, which film had a bigger impact?
Junie, just shut up.
That's not. No, she has a point, but that's my point. She has a point. But my only question. But she has a point, but my only question is, yes, I agree with what you're saying, but when the reveal happened, which one had a greater impact on you?
Officially, right, I'm on the Peeping Tom side. But
And ultimately, the reveal that made more sense was the Psycho one, because we can't even understand the character intentions of the one in Peeping Tom. It's not clear and doesn't make sense. It's not straightforward at all. And then in a film like Suspense, right, you need to be clear with character intentions.
Keen, I still love you.
I should be on the other side.
No, but actually, your point
How was
is
it not clear?
Like, we don't know why he does the murders at all.
Because he
We know that, okay, he's affected by the death, but you know why he wants to make a documentary, all that crap? We don't know why he exactly wants to do it.
Because he's a scientist.
it's to
You
throw
know,
you
no,
in
no,
confusion.
Yeah, that one is
That's the point of the film!
It's actually quite clearly
that one is
planted
clear.
throughout the film.
That one is clear. Because from the start he says because the father documents the son, and now the son wants to document his own version of his theory. So that one is clear as a horror film. But everything is clear to me in Peeping Tom. I'm just saying, you are talking about a suspense film when suspense means you have a reveal which has a great impact on the audience. Her point is valid, but my genuine question to her is, when the reveal happened, in which film was it a greater reveal? And she agreed with me.
I didn't say anything.
Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho was going after revealing why did he kill. We already like kind of knew that it's something related to them, and it's also.
No, you didn't know who was the killer until the end.
Look at this way. Peeping Tom had a greater impact because from the start it already revealed that he was a murderer. So we know that he's actually, after he's noticeable, he's trying to be a better person. But we know that in the end he fails, even though he tried so hard. So in a way we sympathize with the character.
Yeah, but that goes back to a normal.
That's like normal.
That goes back to it being a normal character who's. See, then it comes back to a character having a love interest, which is the other conflict. That means if you take the girl element out of the film, and it's just no wait.
Impact on people because it was more relevant to how we feel. But Psycho is more like okay, then because this happened.
You have a mother also.
Can I ask right, Psycho is more a plot-driven film, and Peeping Tom is actually character-driven.
Yeah.
So we follow the character.
Can I ask a legitimate question?
Yeah.
What is the definition of a better film? How can you like compare something if you're not giving a rubric?
No, but we're talking based on narrative structure, finito, and things like that.
Have we both agreed on this rubric?
No.
Is this the standardized rubric for what is a better film? Can we just say that both films are good from different people of different sides there? Do we all love each other? Nicholas the President! I just want to say!
We cannot do that until Michelle stops rolling.
No, but to be fair, your argument is just like talking about how is it better. His point is valid in the sense that what are we arguing based on? I'm arguing based on narrative structure and a genre film. In that genre, which film did what better? Not everything better, but what elements of it was better. But till now, you all have not failed to recognize which are the elements which stood out.
But it's quite different.
Controversial impact on the audience.
Because this one was it's a very controversy. Then it destroyed the director's career. Yeah, but then after that, when they re-evaluate, it became a masterpiece. So that was something that stand out.
This was in the murderer's point of view, so you actually follow him and sympathize with him. And
No,
maybe
it's
to a
the
certain
story
extent, to some people, you actually kind of, agree with some of the murders, in a sense.
The reason why our film stand out because of the story. Because it talks about.
Point of a debate.
If I'm not wrong, the subject. Like the subject that the story was kind of pull across.
Like he had a greater motivation than Psycho's murderer.
The impact
to
that brought
kill
on
people.
the impact that brought on the people that watch it was much bigger than Psycho.
No.
Yes.
Impact-wise, no. Because till
No,
today,
but because
Psycho sequence is
the
more
impact
iconic.
is different is because ours is not a suspense film.
No,
Like
impact is in
Yours is not a suspense film?
it's not really a suspense film because we know what he's been doing all along.
Why again? Why? No, you should.
Because we know what he's been doing all along, but we don't know
No, that one I agree.
what
The
suspense of your movie is how he's killing.
His point is valid.
But we know what he's doing.
We are not knowing what he's killing from the start of the movie.
say it's the end and the ending.
No, I
I think
think
of controversy.
I think
but
it's explained
because-
because
that's
it's
No, he's explained it already. He talked about because when the film first came out, it was a controversial film which did not do well and things like that.
Yeah.
And then over the years, when people start to evaluate the subject matter and what the film's actually about and the themes evaluated in the film, then the impact.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
that's
He's
our-
explaining the
basically
impact, but he
our
hasn't
main
explained
point,
why it's impactful in terms of story, character, blah blah.
Okay,
blah.
that yes.
Yeah.
Character, yes.
Okay, but when, in rebuttal to that point alone, right, our film's impact carries across still today when directors are still trying to figure out what the surprise end at the end of the film is to keep the audience interested. Example, Sixth Sense, Memento, Prestige, following, come on man. Every film at the end wants to keep the audience hooked at the edge of the seat till the very end of the film. So, in terms of the greater reveal, Psycho is a better film. In terms of greater emotional impact, Peeping Tom is better.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what I'm trying to
that's-
say.
yeah.
So like, how are we gonna debate which is the better film? It's based on her lah. Different
It's in,
stance.
but no,
who's
what
the
she's
judge lah.
doing to us is making us define those parameters on how we want to judge what a better film is.
But basically that's our parameter lah. How far we can go is basically how we argue.
But then, okay, then coming back to your representatives, yes, you all have talked about the greater impact, right? But what is it, what elements of the film bring out that greater impact? What part of the story?
The part where he says that the biggest, the scariest thing, the most fearsome thing in the world is fear itself. Seeing your own scared face.
Okay.
I guess for me, that part, seeing that, it made me kind of realize, it kind of like taught me something in that sense. So that impact is always going to be
What
there.
about teaching changes about what the controversy is? What is the controversy?
In the controversy, so it kind of helped, you know, kind of, what do you call it, justify in a sense why he went out for the murders. So, in that sense, you know, we kind of feel for him and you kind of, in a sense, it questions whether...
If it's justified, why is it controversial?
It was controversial before because at that time, people thought it was black or white. Murderers are murderers, victims are victims. So this kind of blurred it a bit because we go towards the white side being the murderers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Your main point about this entire discussion has been how you sympathize with the character. Okay. Yes, you do sympathize with the character because this is something that's an unnatural setting and the thing that's happened to him as a child, we don't experience it. However, that's the point where I feel like we have to rebut you because there's something you cannot relate to, something you cannot empathize with. Whereas in our film, Psycho, it's something that everyone can empathize with, the loss of a loved one and how you react to it. So that is something your film will never transcend. The fact that you can relate to it and see how different people react to it. And in that case, in that term of emotional impact, our film stands higher than yours.
No, I disagree.
Why?
You cannot...
Wait, stop. Okay, there are two things here. Okay, one, theirs is a character-driven film. Agreed. Ours is a plot-driven film. When you're talking about character impact, emotional impact, theirs has got higher standing. Because we are following the journey of the character, not just the obstacle he overcome. We are seeing him go through a different journey and we are realizing that.
I'm not talking about character motivation, how you relate to the film. As in how
No, but that affects how you can connect to it.
Relate to the character.
You could...
But then again, right, see, but then again, right, to put in our current context, if you were to screen that in our classroom itself, yes, there are a few of us who would like to watch a character-driven film more than that, more than a plot-driven film, but majority of people do prefer a plot-driven film where the reveal makes you feel intelligent. Like, why is Sixth Sense still such a big film? Because of the reveal at the end. No doubt his other films right now have got no artistic merit and all that, but the thing is that how did Sixth Sense stand out from the other horror films of its time? Not by introducing anything fantastic in terms of other cinematic elements, just the narrative structure alone, which is the only reason why the film is still regarded highly.
Yeah, basically what Nishok's point is, right, character-driven, plot-driven film aside, right, ours was simply a better cinematic masterpiece as a whole. Yeah, the whole film was better.
As a character,
perhaps yours, right, has stronger character development and more sympathetic characters, but simply in terms of cinematography,
and basically the narrative structure. Although
plot,
I personally
everything.
like narrative character-driven films more, but as a cinematic masterpiece, Psycho, the experience, the immersive experience of the film itself, and which was more engaging, it was Psycho.
And ours is a better suspense film because the editing, the cinematography all came together much better than yours did to create a suspense-driven film, which is what both our films are supposed to be. And in that aspect, our film succeeded better than yours, lah. And it's evident in the track record of both our films, lah. Our film is legendary. Yours is kind of, but obviously not as so.
Okay, I was not releasing.
Alright, any final words?
I know what you want.
Okay lah,
Let us compare it.
And people call our film the best horror film of all time. So. Aside from
Any final words that you wanna?
But it really depends on,
They are
in the sense whether you prefer a character-driven suspense or plot-driven
Based on
suspense.
subjectivity also, what? Because you all mentioned that the cinema,
Photography.
and then the editing all comes together. But that's based on what y'all think. What other people may differ. Like some people may think that the Peeping Tom cinematography is better than Psycho. Okay,
But the sequences to evidently show that one has more dynamic experience.
Yeah, but it also comes down to the like how the director wants to film the show, like his own style.
That can be
also,
said about any film. That goes back to the auteur shit thingy.
So I mean, Michael Bay can make a crap film because he wanted to do it that way.
Because he's rich.
As in,
Yeah.
as in we get it as a suspense.
And he did. I think that marks the end of discussion. You can do shitty if you want to.
As a suspense on its own, a plot-driven suspense, yes, yours win. But as characters, in terms of which we are arguing on, our characters are better.
Okay, full stop.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks.